This is SportsCenter.
Hey, I'm Marissa Bird on this Digital Sports Center presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. And the countdown is on, as we're just 3 days away from Trade Center, which is always a very fun and exciting day, but mostly stressful for your friends in sports media. So be kind, send gifts. And as we approach the deadline, there are 3 Canadian teams at the top of the standings. And the Oilers, Leafs, and Jets could all be active buyers. So with that in mind, we wanted to give these teams some advice on who they should look to acquire before the deadline. Today we look at the Oilers, tomorrow Leafs, and Thursday Jets. And it's fitting we're doing the Oilers today because they made a couple trades, which is really sort of like a 3-team trade, as they acquired Trent Frederick and Max Jones from the Bruins, as well as Peter Hauser from the Devils, in a bizarre 3-way trade broken up into 2 deals, with Boston getting Max Warner and a 2nd and 4th round pick from Edmonton. Now, some details when it comes to Frederick. First off, the Devils will be retaining 50% of his salary. And another interesting wrinkle, he's currently injured and may not be ready until the playoffs, so it's possible he remains on LTIR until then. And here we go again with the work in the system LTIR BS, okay? I'm over it. Now, that wasn't the only news today, as the Habs re-signed Jake Evans to a 4-year deal with a $2.85 million AAV. So that deal will essentially take him off the market. Okay, now that's covered, let's get back to the Oilers, shall we? And see what other moves they can pull off to make another cup run. And we think that piece will be a defenseman to round out the top 4. Last year in the playoffs, Edmonton got a ton of production out of the top pairing of Matthias Ekholm and Evan Bouchard. But after those two, the only defenseman with a positive plus-minus in the playoffs was Philip Broberg, who was signed by St. Louis in the offseason. And since last year's playoff run, the only big add on defense was John Klingberg, who, to put it bluntly, has not been the most reliable over the last few seasons. So defense should be the priority. But who will depend on what the Oilers are willing to give up. If they want to go big, they should consider a guy like Rasmus Ristolainen. While the Flyers have had a tough year, he's been one of the bright spots. And while his numbers aren't the flashiest, he's a very solid defensive defenseman and would fit nicely into Edmonton's second pairing with Darnell Nurse. But Ristolainen will not be cheap. As you can see, he ranks pretty high on TSN's trade bait board. And with a $5.1 million cap hit, Edmonton's probably looking for Philadelphia to retain some salary. So if he's at their price range, they could probably consider a guy like Jamie Oleksiak. While he's having a bit of a down year, he's proved how effective he could be in the playoffs back with the Stars, when he helped them reach the Cup final in 2020. And he can also play both the left and right side, which means he can go in the second pair with Nurse or down to the third pair. Regardless, he'd be a nice, cheap, effective option for the Oilers. And Edmonton will certainly be a team to watch at the deadline. So be sure to tune in to Trade Center Friday. It all starts at 8 a.m. Eastern. And don't forget to head over to the Bar Down YouTube page or TSN Plus for Trade Down. I like to do a little dual screen action because I like to hear the commentary from the Bar Down boys in the podcast room, but also see the mayhem that is Trade Center on TSN. Time now for the Big Play Replay presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. And let's stay on brand here and head to the Montana's Briar, because this shot from McEwen is just unreal. And as you can see here, there's not a lot of room for error in this setup.
His last words, let's make it. Mike McEwen. Come through the hole for a possible 3.
Yep.
Here in this third, already down 1-0. Nothing flash yet, nothing yet, still nothing yet, all on its own. Oh, he got it through. My goodness, Mike McEwen. Magic Mike comes through for 3.
Oh my God. Threading the needle, incredible work, no broom needed. Damn, Mike's good. To the association, and the Raps looked so good last game against the Magic, and still almost did the right thing, blowing the game in the 4th quarter, but couldn't quite finish the job, as Franz Wagner missed an absolute bunny of a layup, and the Raptors held on for a meaningless win. Come on, Franz, you can't be missing that. Well, 2 days later, the Raps and Magic are back at it again tonight. Entering tonight, the Raps are still sitting with the 5th worst record in the NBA, as they're 2.5 games up on Philly, who are really doing their best to try to catch them. And with the 4th worst record, it's the suddenly surging Pelicans, who are 5-5 in their last 10, and now only 2 games up on Toronto. So with 21 games to go, we hope to see more Raptors missing games. But that's not really the case tonight, as only Grady Dick out of the regular rotation players is out tonight, as well as, of course, Brandon Ingram. And at this point, I'm not sure we're going to see him at any point this season. You can watch the Raptors and Magic tonight on TSN at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Now that's a cowboy. It's Tuesday, so you know what that means. Time to hit you with some anytime goal scorer action. And yeah, we are coming at you after another winning week. Print it, okay? Print that. It's been 2 straight months of winning. And last week, Pasta scored not once but twice just to put an exclamation point on our week. And listen, I don't want to brag too much because, when you brag too much, you end up eating it later. So I'm just going to leave it where it is, but I feel as though this show needs a little more recognition for all the money that we're making, And we're hoping to make you some more money tonight as we're going with Tage Thompson to bury against the Sharks at plus 125. Tage has had a nice run of form lately, with 10 goals and 6 assists in his last 13 games. And they're catching a Sharks team after easily their biggest win of the year last night. And it's the Sharks team on the second of a back-to-back that's allowing a league worst 3.68 goals a game. Plus, it's a little bit of revenge because, they came back to win against the Leafs last night, so this will just be a little gotcha. Gotcha! That's it for me today. We'll see you picking them all 3 Eastern. No Pacific! Have a good one, and I would show you the whole shirt, but I can't because the I and the T here is green, and I can't wear green in this studio, okay? But it says Italy hockey because I am a moderate to severe Italian wife.